Welcome to the podcast Coffee Business in the Middle East, and now I'm having the episode with Shady, who is the founder of the green coffee company, Forest Coffee, and green coffee developer. Welcome, Shady, to my podcast.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. So I'm so excited to have the episode with you because I want to know a lot about Colombian coffee production. So basically, could you tell me in a nutshell what is approach from Forest Coffee in sourcing high quality beans and experiments with it?
So I think in Forest we have three things that move us forward, and I think is innovation, community, and education. I think the three of these things would move Forest to source and build the company and help to develop, a better life. I will say, for the coffee producers and the coffee environment in Colombia.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you're sourcing green beans and you're innovate them in some of the ways.
So to say it very simple, what we do is we grow coffee, we develop projects, and we export and import to consumer countries like Middle East.
Sure. So let's talk about innovations. What do you do? Because now it's a boom of Colombian coffee. You know, it's worldwide, and especially in the Middle East, it's like a must to have it in your coffee shop. So speaking of Forest Coffee, regarding innovations, what differs you from any other farms?
So I'm very proud of what Colombia is doing, and I think we are ahead of many countries when we talk about innovation. I think the world has. I think the consumer countries has been the ones that lead what they want, but now it's happening something very nice. That is, we as Colombians, as a producer country, we're leading it, and I'm very proud that our team at Forest is part of it. What is innovation for us is making things different, is taking the risk to make something that nobody else is doing, try to bring things that maybe they will work or not. We have spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money on trying to make things that sometimes they do not work, and sometimes they work. And I think we can take this. This shouldn't be just in coffee. You can use it in many things. In life for different industries. So I think innovation could bring great success and develop countries and develop companies and develop people.
Wow. As far as I know, you do lots of experiments. And could you tell me, like, basically how it looks like, starting with the harvesting of the coffee and what's happening with the beans after that? Because we are not speaking about just washed and natural process, because you do something far away from this.
So there's a bunch of processing now. I can talk you, we can choose, but we have working with co-ferment coffees, we have working with koji process, and I think it's one that is very interesting. I think we were the first company in the world implementing this process back in 2021, and I think that bring a lot of noise to the farm, to the company. What we did is we heard from someone in the industry about a fungus that is very traditional in Asia, especially in Japan, that is koji. They use it for do food like miso, different things for many years. We bring it, we tried to experiment in coffee. It didn't work for a long time, until we took some cherries. We floated, then we do the fermentation process, and then when we were drying, we bring the koji. What is the koji? It's a fungus that we grow in rice. You need a carbohydrate to grow it, so it fits from the sugars of the carbohydrate. You have to put it in a certain temperature that is about 32 degrees. It will grow. Once it's ready, you grind it, so it will look like a powder. Then you spread it into the cherries when the drying period starts. You will let it for a couple of days, 2-3 days, and it will grow, and it is breaking the cellular structure of the cherry.
Okay.
You know, And what it does is it actually is not gonna change the flavor of that coffee. It's just gonna um, give you a different tactile sensation in your mouth. So like you will feel like you have more body. You will feel more sweetness. And it was the very first time. And it was great. We did a huge experiment. We took the same coffee. We did different process. We did one with the koji, other ones without. We sent it around the world to different like coffee people, experts, professional, like traditional consumers, and it was blind, and everybody chose the one with the koji. So from that point, we start replicating, doing a partnership with different roasters, showcasing the process, and think it goes beyond because, yeah, that's a beautiful coffee, amazing, but at the end of the day, it's something that developing was expensive, but now making it is cheap. So everybody can do it. Like, it's not different. It's not very difficult to do. You know, everybody has rice. You can have that temperature. You can grow the spores, and you can improve the quality of your coffee and get a better price.
Wow. Yes, as far as I know, it's very popular, and I even heard at your booth that koji is chosen coffee. Everyone likes it because of the fruitness. So basically, really, it's just coffee cherries and this koji powder. That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
It's no more than that.
There's no anaerobic fermentation. It's like under the sun.
You can do a fermentation however you want. So you can do an anaerobic fermentation, aerobic fermentation, and then in the last step, you add the koji.
Wow, wow. So is it your...
It has, you cannot add the koji and do an anaerobic fermentation because the koji, as it is a fungus, it needs to grow and it needs oxygen for it. So if you do it anaerobic, it's not going to grow.
I see, yeah, wow. It's very interesting. So is it the most popular...
it's one of the most popular.
Yeah? Everyone loves it.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah. Does anyone copy this from you, or you're
Yeah. So we saw that a lot of companies in Colombia, in Brazil, and Central America, after this, they started doing it, and we were very happy because it proved us that it worked and that it has a market. So we were doing things right.
So do you import this? Do you export this coffee to Japan itself? So
Yes.
is it popular there?
It
I
is.
think they should love it. Yeah.
They love it. They love it because it's in their roots, you know? They have been using it for many years, so it's familiar for them.
Okay, understood. And speaking of different fermentation processes, you just mentioned regarding the co-fermentation.
Yeah.
What is this?
Co-fermentation is, there's a lot of different methods that the people is doing. Basically is fermenting coffee with something, you know? So there's people doing it with apple, banana, pears, watermelon, bunch of things. There's different methods to do it, you know? And at the end of the day, what you have is a coffee that is tasting like fruits. It's a very sensitive debate. A lot of people like it, other people just do not. And I really respect this, and we are doing it, we are promoting it at our company. And the reason is, I think this is something that is coming from, again, producer countries, you know? And there's a lot of coffees that they don't have, they grow at lower elevations, they're not super good, so people could do these, add value to a product that usually that add value was being in the consumer countries, so now money is staying here. So if you don't like it and you don't want it, you don't have to buy it, that's okay. But now we're giving a possibility to other people to do it and have a better income and have better life. And this became here. This is original from Colombia, from Costa Rica. So I think it's great.
Okay, so co-fermentation, is it the same as infused coffee, or what is the difference?
Yeah, that's a big debate because there's a lot of people that call it infused, that call it co-ferment. You know, at the end of the day, the people that for me at the end of the day is going to be the same, you know. It depends with what are you doing these co-ferments, you know, because you are infused is that you're adding something to the coffee. So at the end of the day, for example, a koji could be infused with koji because you're adding something that is out of the coffee, you know. So a co-ferment is actually an infused coffee. If you get me right, you know, because fruits are not like I'm adding something to it. So a co-ferment is it is an infused coffee.
So I have another question regarding the infusion because it's getting popular, it's debatable. Regarding the safety, this is the most common what people debate about the safety, about this bacteria, what's happening in the farms, how it affects on the nature environment and also on the human's body. Did you do any studies or researches regarding this?
For us, is I think is completely safe. You know, at least you're do you have an allergy to any of these specific infusions that people is using? If you're not allergic, I think it's completely fine. There was a huge debate regarding the koji because it was a fungus that it was not originally from or area from Colombia. So the debate was that bringing this different microorganism here, it could contaminate the whole area and make like a huge effect to the land and to the environment. And that was true. They were 100% right. There was a huge debate about it. And they were right. What we did is we inoculate and we started growing our own koji.
So you have a farm of koji?
We
well.
We do.
How it looks like? It's like different jars.
It's pretty small. It's you just need like a little warehouse, you know, like a environment where you can grow it, and you inoculate it and you use it. That's how it works. So like that, you're not bringing something different to your natural environment.
So basically, you have a separate lab for koji itself.
We do.
Okay, so speaking of your production, so you have warehouses, you have the lab. Speaking of quality control, I'm very curious how it's happening. How do you track all of the changes? Because doing the fermentation, to me, it's really complicated. I only have experience with doing kombucha, but even
it's
like
complicated, no?
Yeah, even like
at
home, it's getting a little bit hotter, so you need to stop the fermentation. I cannot imagine how do you manage this in the farms because you do a lot. So how it's happening?
So we have to have a like huge changes in our farm. Our farm was a traditional farm back years ago. Now there's lab, there's fermentation tanks. We're almost it's almost finished. I will say one of the most one of the best or the most advanced, I will say, processing station where we can control all these steps. Because if you can't control it, you will have different qualities, different coffees. So we have the tanks where we can control the fermentation. We can measure pH, temperature. We can add things to them so you can control them. After that, we have a color, a cherry selector, like color, this toner, and all of that to give the best quality. After that, that everything could be controlled by a screen. We have a huge quality team, you know, that is copying every day. We are copying every day. That's our main thing, cop, to see how consistent they are, to see what's happening with the texture of the coffee, with the body of the coffee, the sweetness, the flavors, and all that. So it's a huge part of our work to ensure that the quality is going to be there and the consistency is going to be there.
Yeah, and I want to speak more about this because people mostly know like the package, the name and flavor descriptors, but I want to go deeper a little bit regarding the innovation and fermentation processes which you do. So you have a huge team of cupping specialists. Are they necessarily Q graders or they do like a database and they have some targets? So how do you manage your quality control department?
So the quality control department, I will say most of them are Q graders.
Wow.
To be honest, yeah, most of them are Q graders. Not all, not all of them. But I think being a Q grader at the end of the day adds a lot of structure. You know, I don't think it's a mandatory. You know, you can be a great copper and you can know a lot of quality more than someone that is a Q grader. But being a Q grader is going to add you the structure.
Yeah.
So yeah, many of our team it is. They are actually.
So, and how their job look like? You said they cup every day, literally every day? Really?
Yeah, so there's a quality director. Her name is Kaori. She lives in Colombia. And the first step goes to Karen. She's living at the farms. She worked with chemistry. And she is in charge of all the processing, the first copying, organizing the batches. Then coffee arrived to the hands of Kaori. And she takes care of receiving all the lots, doing a classification with her team, that is Omar. And they classify the coffees, organize them, and then they start copying. And saying if coffees are good or not good. Once they select the batches go to the milling station, and then we have another team. And the other team over there receive the final batches of the coffee when they're already like organized, and she reject or approve, you know, based on the previous score, and if it's similar or the same that with Kaori cup. Once it's ready, they approve the coffee, they mill it, organize it, and then there's another cupping again to just double check if everything fits, and if everything fits, coffee is going out.
Okay, understand. And speaking of green beans defects, with the comparison with flavor defects caused by fermentation.
Okay.
So what do you face more often in your experience here?
Like the question will be, what problem do we face
Yeah,
the most?
yeah, because we have green beans defects.
Yeah.
Do you have it at all, or you like grow?
No, not much. That's like you could have it, but at the end of the day, we have we do not own a milling station, but we have a team that works every day in a milling station. So
They do grading.
they do grading,
Okay.
they sort the defects, they're organized, so they make sure that the coffee that is going out of the mill is already okay with
Clear.
moisture, water activity, and defects.
Okay.
So that's something that we do not face. Like, of course, things happen. Like, you know,
Yeah, nature.
sometimes, sometimes you have a stone, but sometimes are things that the equipment, because it's so small, you cannot take it out. So once in a while, you can face in the bigger lots something like this.
Sure. And speaking of flavor impact caused by fermentation, which problems do you face?
We face different problems. Sometimes it's funny because people like it more intense, and then they like it less intense. So you deliver the first batch, they love it, and they say, hey, I would prefer a less intense. Okay, so we do it less intense. And then we deliver, I say, hey, I prefer a little bit more intense, not like that. So that's something that we have faced, but nothing that you cannot manage. But yeah, definitely this is something new. This is something that I think has been in the industry, I don't think more than 5 years. So a lot of things to keep learning, you know, and I think we should look this kind of innovation with different eyes, you know, just not say it's not okay, just okay, if it's not like this, how, like, you know, let's keep improving, let's keep doing different things, how we add value to the whole chain, you know. I think the producer part is always the one, is the hardest, without a doubt, is the hardest part of all the coffee chain is growing, without a doubt. And I think we should try as an industry to see how we improve it, you know, how we add value to this part of the chain. Because if we don't do it, we're gonna be in a bad position as the one we are today, with the crazy prices that the market is facing. And the reason is having many years of terrible prices and seeing producers getting tired of getting anything, and you know, so we need to add value to this part of the chain. If not, we're going to be in a very bad position.
So speaking of defects, I understood. What other innovations you're gonna do? So as I know, you have like more than 200 fermentations from our last.
Yeah, it's a bunch. I wouldn't say.
You
I
should
have
have
no
a book
idea.
already.
We should. But we're working out with salt.
Okay.
Salt is something that we this is the first time I say
Yeah.
this, but we start working with salt maybe 4 months ago. Taking salt, real salt, sea salt, and adding it to the coffee, to the fermentations,
Wow.
to see what happened. And we have seen great things.
Wow.
Great things. It like I will say what we have found until today is that it make more clear the profile of the coffee
Yeah.
and more clean. We don't understand exactly what's happening, but we are fermenting coffee with salt. We're trying to
Wow.
do new things. Yeah.
Nice. Excited to try new innovations. Did you try it with kombucha?
We
I saw
haven't.
You haven't.
We haven't. We have never tried with kombucha, but we would love to. You know.
Yeah,
We
I
would
just
love to.
recently saw a picture. Someone put a SCOBY
Okay.
on the fermentation tank and they just fermented it. Yeah, but you don't know because also
It
every
works.
SCOBY is
I
different.
have tried. I have tried coffees with kombucha.
Ah,
Not from us. And it was nice.
okay.
That was
Because I
nice.
think it's hard to control because every SCOBY is different.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything is different. And even the temperature that you use to do the fermentation, even if it's the same as coffee, it is going to change. The cherry that you use one day, the cherry that you use the next day, is gonna. It's coffee, It's life. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
it's always gonna have a slight change.
Sure. You as a green coffee developer and you absolutely know your customers. So within your experience working with your company, can you describe taste preferences like of Middle East, maybe European market or US? Is there any difference
Yeah,
or
there-
it's
there
like
are.
one tendency?
No. I think this is a very active market. Is always changing. So you see something is trending here, then 6 months after that is changing again. So what I can see is that this market is they prefer much more the fruity coffees. They like natural, more intense. I think it comes from the palate, like more flavor at the end of the day. I see a huge preference of those kind of coffees here. If you go to Europe, Europe is huge. It's completely it's very different from one place to another. In the north, you're seeing more clean coffees, wash, pure variety. If you go to the south, to Romania, they like again a little bit more flavor. United States is huge as well. Clean is getting popular again. They're looking for a lot of sweetness. It changed from one place to another.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So anyway, eventually you need to know the different markets in order to produce and forecast sort of.
Yeah, of course. You have to be. You need to understand. You
Yeah.
know, I think there is a house for every bin.
Yeah.
But of course there's tendencies in each market. So you need to know where you're working, what is the end customer looking for to have the right experiments in the right places.
So, and of course, I cannot skip this question regarding the current situation of sea market. So, you as a worker in the farms, so what's happening in your opinion right now, and what should we do with this situation?
This is a great time to be a producer. I think we have seen prices that has doubled. It's the highest price ever that we have seen in the market, in the sea market, in the last year, in the life. It's going to be a tough moment for the roasters, especially the ones that are that has most of their sales on the wholesale side. Um, also could be complicated for importers and exporters, but I think it's a time to build the relationships. You know, it's a time to go and knock the door of those producers to be able to establish those relationships. Um, because if not, it's going to be very complicated for the roasters. It's going to be very complicated. Uh, Prices are very, very high now.
Okay, so we know, of course, the reason we're not gonna cover all of them. So, what should we do? What would you advise green coffee buyers to do right now? Also,
To forecast, like I think is nobody knows better their market than the roaster. You know, the owner of the company or the green buyer. You know, whoever is in charge. So they have to make their numbers. They need to increase their prices. There's no other way, and they need to start locking the contracts. I don't think it's a time to wait. I advise the people to lock the contracts on short terms, or on the other way, if they, let's say, they can lock the whole operation and they already make the forecast of their numbers, and it makes sense. I will not gamble. I will book my coffees. I will stay with the relationships, because the other problem that the roasters and we are gonna face is that the quality could decline as well. And the reason is some of the producers have never seen prices like this, so they're gonna pick as much as they can, even unripe cherries, to deliver, because they're getting a great price finally, you know. So that's going to affect the roasters as well. So I think it's maintaining the relationship that you have, guys. Forecast very good. How much do you need to increase your price, and lock what you need, if you can everything, or not do it like in short terms. But you need to start locking your coffees. That's what I will do.
so the time is now.
Okay.
Yeah. And what about the like normal consumers? So we need to aware them regarding the prices.
I think that's something that is very important. Roasters and we and a producer, all we need to start spreading the voice of that the cup of coffee is going to be more expensive. That's it. It's as simple as that. You know, you're going to need to start paying more, because roasters need to increase the prices, because all this money now is going to go to the bottom of the pyramid. You know.
Yeah.
So the cup of coffee is going to be more expensive for sure.
And on this slightly sad note, we have to wrap up. Shady, thank you so much for this insightful conversation. I truly inspired by your enthusiasm and the hard work you do, because of innovations you do and the range of coffees with different flavors. Yes, thank you so much for this. And I wish you good luck with your business. Continue growing. Yeah.
Irina, thank you. Thank you for your time. I think it was very nice to be able to share a little bit of what we're doing, or insights of what's going on in Colombia, and that I think innovation and education are key tools to keep changing our industry and adding a little bit of value.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.